Thursday night kicks off with the Green Bay Packers on the road against the Detroit Lions. Jordan Love continues to impress, and it looks like running back Aaron Jones is going to play, so that's going to be a big boost for that offense. The Lions have been very up and down this season. Sometimes the defense shows up, sometimes it doesn't, but I like Green Bay to get it done on the road against an inconsistent Lions team, 23-17. Next we have up the Atlanta Falcons, 2-1, take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. The Jaguars' 1-2 start is very disappointing, but the Falcons are led by rookie running back Bijan Robinson. The young Falcons team looked very impressive in the 2 wins to start the season, but their offense was nearly non-existent against the Lions. So is it the Lions getting better, or is it the Falcons kind of regressing back to the mean? They played a little bit above their heads. So this is going to be a tough game for the Falcons because they're going to have to put up some offense to contest with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I think win this game. I think the Jaguars are the better team, even though they haven't been playing like the better team. That offense, once it starts clicking, they're going to be really tough to stop. So I'm looking at the Jaguars winning a tough, close game, 21-17 over this young Falcons team. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins traveling to Buffalo for an AFC rivalry game. The Bills are 2-1. The Dolphins are 3-0. The Dolphins blew the brakes off of the Broncos last week, 70-20, as did the Buffalo Bills, crushing Washington 37-3. It should be a high-scoring offensive game. Josh Allen and the Bills finally look like the team everyone thought they would be the last 2 weeks, and they crushed QB Sam Howell for 9 sacks and 4 interceptions. So, could this be not a high-scoring game that people think it is? Who really knows? But this game is going to be a lot of fun to watch either way. It's really going to show you who the superior team is in the AFC East, but I think the Dolphins go on the road and get the victory, 27-24. The Vikings are taking on the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. The Vikings are 0-3. The Panthers are 0-3. Someone's going to finally get a win, and I think it's going to be the Vikings. They're just a way better team. They're definitely underachieving, and Bryce Young is going to be out, so we're going to get more Andy Dalton. The Panthers are not very good. Miles Sanders is their best player, but he can't do it by himself, so I think the Vikings and Justin Jefferson are going to get it done for sure. Easy W for the Vikings. Next up, we have another battle of 2 0-3 teams. What is going on with these garbage NFL teams? The Broncos, who got obliterated last week against the perennial terrible Bears. I think the Broncos will edge this out 17-13. I think they have a little bit more talent. I mean, their defense was terrible last week, so if Justin Fields is going to have a good week, finally, it will be against this Broncos defense, but I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, almost college football-looking game. I'm going Broncos 17-13. Next, we have up the Ravens traveling to Cleveland. This is going to be another low-scoring game, I think. I like the under in this game. The Ravens on the road at the Browns. The Browns defense has been great, and the Ravens offense looked very out of sorts last week. They just couldn't put it together. They had so many opportunities to win that game against the Colts, and their offense is just not clicking right now. Lamar Jackson looks a little bit lost. That's why I like Cleveland to win this game, 23-17. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Houston Texans. Man, the Steelers looked really good last week. Kenny Pickett looked like he's an actual franchise quarterback last week against the Raiders, but that vaunted, crazy, insane, masterful defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to keep them in games all season long. And I think the Steelers and that crazy defense is going to be too much for first-year quarterback C.J. Stroud. I don't think the Texans have a chance of winning this game. I like the Steelers 27-17. It might even be like 10 points for the Texans. That Pittsburgh Steelers defense is absolutely disgustingly good. I'm just going to call it like I see it. The LA Rams looked absolutely terrible on Monday night against a banged-up Joe Burrow. That offensive line for the Rams is absolutely hot garbage. But the Colts aren't very good. Gardner Minshew is going to be their quarterback because Richardson is hurt probably. I don't think he's going to play. Richardson is in a concussion protocol or whatever, so I don't know if he's going to play. It's up in the air. But the Colts aren't very good. We don't know who the Rams really are. Are they going to bounce back? I think they do. I think they get this win 27-17. I like the Rams to bounce back here. They just had a bad game, man. Sometimes that happens. You got to flush it. Their offensive line was way better the first 2 weeks of the season as it was in the third week against the Bengals. They couldn't block anybody last week. It was absolutely insane. The pass rush for the Bengals ruined Matt Stafford's night, that's for sure. But I do think the Rams go on the road and get the W. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the Saints, who are probably going to be without Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr's hot garbage anyway, so I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bounce back after that loss against the Birds and get a victory here, 28-13. I like Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans to bounce back. I mean, that Eagles defense is super good. The Saints also have a really good defense, but I just think they're going to be on the field the whole game. That New Orleans offense is absolutely terrible. I like the Bucs here to bounce back big. After that, we have the Washington Commanders on the road playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, good luck moving the ball against this Eagles team. The Washington Commanders looked absolutely horrible last week against the Bills. I think they had like 4 interceptions and like 8 sacks. They're going to get absolutely crushed by the Eagles, 31-10. The Raiders are on the road against the LA Chargers. The Chargers offensively are super banged up. Wide receiver Mike Williams had a season-ending injury last week. He's done. Austin Eckler is questionable, but I just think the Raiders going on the road, I think it's going to be a low-scoring, uneventful game. I think Justin Herbert is the better quarterback, especially because Garoppolo is in concussion protocol. He might not even play. So Herbert's going to squeak out a victory, 17-13 over the road, traveling Raiders. And then we have the Bengals on the road against the Titans. This should be a really interesting game because the Bengals defense looked crazy good against the Rams. It was unbelievable, actually. So if they get that type of pressure on Ryan Tannehill, it's going to be a long day for the Titans. I think the Bengals win this game 21-17. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Titans are going to want to control the clock, run the ball with Derrick Henry, keep Joe Burrow in that offense and Jamar Chase off the field. It's going to be a close game, but Burrow, he looked pretty good last week. He's not 100% yet, but man, that defense can win a lot of games for the Bengals, baby. Next, we have the New England Patriots traveling to Dallas after that unbelievably ridiculous loss to the Arizona Cardinals last week. Man, the Cowboys should be ashamed of themselves. And that's why I'm picking the New England Patriots, who are like plus 255. Give me those odds all day to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I think the New England defense is going to wreak havoc on the Cowboys. The Cowboys' offensive line was missing 3 starters last week. We'll see if some of them are coming back or not. But, man, there are holes in that offensive line. And if they do come back, they're not going to be 100%. Bill Belichick's going to bring that pressure. And as we saw on Sunday, Dak Prescott with pressure does not bode well. I don't know. Dak Prescott, I was always a big fan, but he has looked not good as of late. This is a big opportunity for Mac Jones to solidify himself as the future quarterback for the Patriots if he goes into Dallas and gets a big win. I'm predicting New England to win this game 24-17. And then we head west to the Arizona Cardinals traveling to San Francisco. If Arizona beats San Francisco, I'm going to weep. I just don't think any way it's possible. San Francisco is too loaded. They're too consistent. They're very well coached. I like San Francisco to win 17-34. I think that defense is going to put Josh Dobbs back in his hole, and that offense is going to score a shit ton of points. I like San Francisco to win this game. Faux show. Sunday's game of the week, well, not really game of the week anymore because Aaron Rodgers is at home nursing that blown-out Achilles. The 2-1 Chiefs take on the 1-2 Jets in New York. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game pretty easily. I just don't think the Jets have the offense to stay in line with the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Wilson is absolute bush. I did read that Trevor Siemian signed with the Jets. I don't know if he's going to start because obviously you can't win games with Zach Wilson. The dude's not an NFL quarterback. He's a fucking bum. The Chiefs are going to win this game, I think, pretty easily, 28-13. The reason why I don't think it's going to be even more of a blowout is because the Jets do have an elite defense. They got a top 10 defense in the NFL for sure, and they're going to be on the field a lot this year, especially if Zach Wilson remains their quarterback. Trevor Siemian is not great either, but there's not a ton of guys that you could just sign off the street. Carson Wentz was floating around. There's some news about Colin Kaepernick wanting to play for the Jets. I don't know, man. Doesn't look good for the Jets. Kansas City wins this game easily. We wrap things up this week on Monday night with the Seattle Seahawks traveling across the country to play the New York Giants. Both of these teams have been hit by the injury bugs, but the Giants just look terrible, man. The defense is not very good. And even if, the Seahawks can come to this game at 80% with Geno Smith and Lockett and Metcalf, they're going to score enough points to get the win. The Giants are without Saquon Barkley, as everybody knows, and the rest of the wide receivers on that team are garbage. Darren Waller only has 12 catches in 3 games. That's not going to be enough to beat the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks to win this game 21-13 against a not-so-good New York Giants football team.